It's Thursday, December the 9th. Beef, it's curtains for the French. Diana is the Virgin Mary, yeah, and these are the three wise men. Keane, 52 grand a week. Whoa, that's a lot of potatoes. Please welcome TV's most lovable lanky twat, Mr. Iain Lee.
I know. Hello and welcome to the 11 o'clock show. It's the 21st show and our last of the series. Thank you, sir, for leading that one. But that's okay because we're here in 2 weeks' time with a Christmas special. Yay! Now, one man who'll definitely be having a special Christmas is Roy Keane. The Manchester United player has just signed a new contract, earning him £52,000 a week. Now, we've been on air for 7 fun-packed, crazy weeks, and in that time, Roy will earn... well, it's a fuckload of money, I can tell you that for sure. But we started way back when on, I think, the 26th of October, 27th, 28th, can't quite remember. I wasn't here, obviously. I was having dinner with Jeffrey Archer at the time. Liar. You see? You see what we do? The jokes. But what else... I'll come in, don't worry. But what else has happened during our time on air? Well, Gary Glitter turned out to be the only man in the computer shop with his web pages stuck together. Jerry Halliwell's gone blonde and lost her ginger twat. And Vanessa's lost 13 stones. That'll be her husband leaving her. Cliff Richard has gone into the charts with Millennium Prayer. Now, that's the words of the Lord's Prayer set to the tune of Auld Lang Syne. Now, I'll go over that one more time. Words he didn't write, set to music he didn't write. It could only be improved if it was a song that he didn't bloody sing. Tony Blair's... You're scary. In a nice way. Tony Blair's been strutting around the world stage because he's got his missus up the duff. Poor bloke, he thought he'd seen the last of dribbling and changing nappies when he abolished the House of Lords. Now, this week, Tony Blair also visited Merseyside. He embraced the Scousers wholeheartedly. Some people thought he lost his marbles. Well, now his wallet's missing as well. It was worth it. And he was in for more of a shock when he visited local schools. It seems that some of the pupils have got more kids than he has. But that's enough of this nostalgic nonsense. Let's get on with the show. Please welcome the girl who shared my dressing room for the last 2 months and has always turned her back when I took my vest off. Yes, it's Daisy Donovan. Look at you slowly sauntering. You're having a saunter there. Now, Daisy.
Iain.
It's a special moment. We've been together on screen for the last 7 weeks. Do you think there's a special, sort of, I don't know, F-factor between us?
Yeah, I think you're a fucking idiot.
Tell us what's on tonight's show.
We'll do so. Original rock chick Susie Quattro will be here. We'll be asking her what it was like snogging the Fonz and whether she took him up on his offer to sit on it. And we'll be looking back on all the best bits of Ali G's American Odyssey.
What has everyone in the world got? Feet. Right? Right. And what do they want their feet to become? Comfy. How do they make their feet comfy? One word.
Shoes.
Slippers.
Now here are the headlines. Here are today's top stories. Roy Keane has become the highest-paid footballer in Britain, earning £52,000 a week. He's going to use the money to save up and buy a replica Man United strip.
Jimmy Five Bellies was released from prison last night, but will be electronically tagged. He celebrated with a quiet night in with some friends.
David Beckham has been found guilty of speeding. Apparently he was in such a rush because he'd gone out to get takeaway for Posh Spice, and he wanted to get home before a chip went cold.
The roads in Surrey are the most dangerous in Britain. In fact, a new report reveals you're twice as likely to be hit by a car in Surrey than in South Wales. Of course, that's because no one can drive in South Wales. They're too busy bumming sheep to learn.
The team behind the hit movie The Blair Witch Project have revealed that their next film will be a Monty Python-style comedy. Well, we've managed to get hold of some of the early footage.
What is that? A witch? That's not a witch. He's just a very naughty boy.
After having the lyrics to U2's latest album stolen from him in a Dublin bar, Bono has launched an urgent appeal to get them back. The singer said that whoever took them is welcome to keep the cigarettes, he just needs them to return the back of the packet.
Romantic husky-voiced singer Barry White has cancelled his forthcoming UK tour after a health scare. He hasn't got a sore throat.
And finally, Brookside's Sinbad actor Michael Stark is set to leave the top soap. Last night, he celebrated with a few friends.
And those were tonight's headlines. So complicated. There are some tired, hackneyed old stories that never seem to go away. For example, the Millennium Dome.
I'm sick of it.
The Euro.
Oh, makes me sick.
Posh spice.
Makes herself sick. With worry over Brooklyn.
But the worst of all must be the British beef crisis. What could be said about that hasn't been said already?
That's the task we set Alex Lowe this morning. Here's his report.
Agriculture Minister Nick Brown was left with earth all over his fat face today as once again the French said non to British beef. In a final bid to get the ban lifted, Brown issued this warning to the French government. From now on, it's no more Mr. Nice Gay, the gloves are off. Last night, Brown once again seemed surprised that the French had upheld the ban, but said he wouldn't take it lying down.
Since the French government have said no to us, although I do want to study the text of their statement carefully.
Amid criticism that this ban had more to do with economics than health, the French government immediately made public details of their stringent scientific testing procedure. 1. Check the label. 2. Confirm that it's British. 3. Ban it immediately. Nick Brown admitted that his softly approach may have backfired and announced details of his new hard-hitting strategy to get tough on France without breaking EU law. Firstly, Brown will have all of his friends round for tea at his mum's on Friday, but the French aren't invited. Secondly, when anyone French speaks to him, he will say, "Can anyone else hear that? I thought I heard something. Oh, it must be no one." And finally, during lunch breaks at the European Union, Mr. Brown will wander around chanting, "Who wants to join? My gang. No French allowed." Reaction from the other EU states has been swift. The German Agriculture Minister Karl-Heinz Funke has said, "France's actions are illegal and strike to the heart of the European Union." When asked whether Germany would lift their ban, he said, "Bist du mental? Das britische beef ist fucking poison." With a long, drawn-out court case looking likely, experts predict the only thing being lifted in the near future will be Nick Brown's shirt. He must win this court case if he's not to go down as the man with the worst agricultural record since the Wurzels. This has been Alex Lowe, The 11 O'Clock Show, Paris.
Now, it's sad to think that this is the last show of the series and everything's coming to an end, but there's always a plus side to every situation.
Please welcome, for the very last time, I promise, Ricky
Thank
Gervais.
God.
Nice and choosing does it. Nice and choosing does it. Does it every time.
Ricky, what have you got for us today?
Ideas for Christmas gifts.
Oh, that sounds
Seriously,
quite nice.
It's the last show. You're going to see a lot of stuff on telly about unwanted pets, and a puppy is for life, not just for Christmas, which is true. But kids love it, but it can be irresponsible because they're not, you know, puppies forever, and they've got a short attention span, kids, and it can lead to abandonment. I've got loads of nieces and nephews, and what I do, Christmas Eve, I go down to Battersea Dogs Home and I find a little sick one, and I go to the vet. No, don't put it down. I'll take it off your hands, mate. Yeah. I take it home, I'll give it to my little niece, she plays with it, it dies that night. Without the proper medical care, it would. 2 birds with 1 stone, see? Doesn't grow up, doesn't get abandoned. I've given it a lovely gift, yeah? And I usually tell her that Father Christmas killed it because she didn't spend enough on her uncle.
That's actually
And that he hates mean kids, and they usually buck their ideas up for the next year.
That's very, very harsh.
Yeah, well, it's harsh but true. I've got another idea. This is for adults. It's not all about kids' Christmas. I actually invented this myself. It's one of those sort of make your own, and I did it on an audition for Blue Pete. I didn't get it, but what it is, aunt is leave the room, okay? Uncles cut out 2 little round bits of paper, like that much across, yeah? Put 2 little black dots on them, they're the eyes, yeah? Lick them, stick them on your helmet, right? Pull back the foreskin, rotate the cock about 90 degrees, and open and shut the jacket. It looks like a little goldfish. A big goldfish. A pike. It's like a pike.
You actually have to have done that to know
I've done it loads of times. Yeah.
Gervais, leave. Now.
Go on.
Off.
I'll use this.
You're disgusting.
Oh, it's nearly Christmas. Come on, come back.
Come on, have a mince pie.
No, actually, fuck off, fatty. Get off, don't do that. Out. Well, that's the end of part 1. Coming up in part 2, we'll be hanging stateside with Ali G in America.
And we'll be jamming with top rock chick Susie Quattro.
But before that, we once again urge you to take heed of this public warning. See you after the break.
Daisy says, never tell John Prescott that your legs are made of pies.
A new statue depicting the late Princess of Wales as the Virgin Mary has caused a storm of controversy.
Sir Cliff Richard has described it as deeply offensive, which is a bit rich coming from a man who's recorded Our Lord's Prayer to the tune of a drunken Scottish dirge. But the statue's not the only tacky religious tie-in causing a stir this Christmas.
Devout Catholics have been outraged by this souvenir version of the Turin Shroud, in which the face of the crucified Messiah is replaced by the life-size body of Jeanette Cranky. Fandavidosi!
And there's this. The personalised reproduction of the Last Supper advertised in the Funday Times. For just £10, your child can appear as Jesus, leading a table full of kid-friendly disciples in a final holy snack.
Look, there's Blue Peter's Katie Hill, Ant and Dec, and look, there's Emu. And instead of drinking the blood of Christ, they're enjoying the great taste of sunny delight.
On the bookshelves this year, it's the Hello Bible. It's exactly the same as the traditional Bible, except there's a bit where Posh Spice passes through the eye of a needle, and Vanessa Feltz eats the 5,000, and the loaves, and the fishes, and the Snickers.
Finally, brighten up any mantelpiece with this, the Only Fools and Horses Nativity. As you can see, it's a moving tableau featuring Rodney and Uncle Albert. But where's Del Boy?
Well, if you pull this lever...
And those are our slightly controversial religious celebrity souvenir gadget things.
We all agree that the world's been a better place since girl power. It's empowered teenage girls to crash diet, take the pill aged 11, and still get pregnant by the time they're 12. That's good.
But it didn't all start with the Spice Girls, so who better to ask about all things girl power than the Queen of Rock and Roll? Ladies and gentlemen, she's got the can that can. It's Susie Quattro. Susie, first question, what the hell does can the can mean?
Well, in America, there's a little phrase about canning something to keep it safe, so basically you're putting it away so nobody else gets it. Get it?
Do you see yourself as an originator of girl power?
Yeah, I had no role models myself. I started off playing the bass and going into a rock and roll band. There was absolutely nobody doing that, so the door needed to be broken down, so I blew it off its hinges.
Yeah.
Wow. What was it like knowing that a lot of teenage boys were spending a lot of time poring over your album sleeves in the 70s?
Notice my face. I tell you what, all the way, every time I meet somebody, meet a fan somewhere, they always come up and tell me about my poster on the wall, and then they go into detail. And I always think, how am I supposed to react to this?
What they actually say, Susie, I used to have a poster of you and I'd crack one off.
What did you call it?
Cracking one off. Having a jostle. Shivering a beauty.
Oh, my God. You make it sound so romantic.
I know. I can make it look romantic as well.
The good thing about doing that is it's sex with somebody you love.
Yeah, exactly. Me.
Rock stars come and go, but you've maintained a career for nearly 30 years now. Do you think that had anything to do with your leather jumpsuit?
Well, the fact that it still fits is quite nice.
How long does it take to get into a leather pair of trousers?
Well, you can get into it easy, but after the stage performance, it's difficult to get back out.
Ian will help you with that.
Yes, I thought all these perverts about this leather stuff. I mean, you guys are so strange, but it is sexy, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when
I'm wearing leather tonight, you know.
I'd noticed,
Yes.
surprisingly. Now you.
Yeah, I noticed that you noticed. Yes.
I've not got. Susie Quattro. Susie.
Oh, blush! Look at me, I've gone red cheeks. Okay.
Susie Quattro is implying I've got an erection. Now, the first time I saw you was as the Fonzie's girlfriend, Leather Tuscadero. How did you get that cool part?
That's a great part.
Yeah, that was the best.
I loved it. They called me in Japan, and they said, would I fly out and audition? And I did, and it was supposed to be a 2-week special thing, and it turned into 3 years.
Is he really, really cool?
He's really super cool. Actually, he's very, very intelligent. He was going to be a politician.
Really?
Yeah, he was. He's
Fonzie MP, that would be fantastic.
Be great,
Get him for London Mayor, that would be great. It's really weird, though. As a kid, the Fonz looked all right, but looking back now, the lines were already beginning to show. Look at this shot of the two of you together. Ladies and gentlemen, Susie Quattro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi there.
Nice to see you. Now, it's got to be said, Daisy, it's got to be said that we have been through a lot together. Do you think you'd stick by me through thick and thin?
Oh, of course I would, Ian. No matter what you did, I'll always be there for you.
Really? No matter, you know, what I did?
What have you done?
Well, put it this way, I've been banned from the local swimming baths. Only on Saturday mornings, though.
You're on your own, mate.
Well, one woman who'd support me is Mary Archer, who's publicly stated she's standing by her lying little prick of a husband, Jeff. But would everyone do the same? Daisy made this special report.
Yeah, I did.
Despite being publicly shamed, Jeffrey Archer still has one asset. That's his wife, Mary, who stood by him through thick and thin. But what exactly does it take to push a relationship too far? I've come here to London to find out. What would cause you to dump your partner?
What would cause me to dump my... I would suppose if they had an affair with somebody else, I would dump her, yes.
If you came home and found your wife in bed with another woman, what would you do?
Oh, that'd be very difficult to answer that one.
What's your natural urge?
Natural urge is to sort of just walk out. No?
Join in, two's up. Which of these pursuits is unforgivable in a partner? Okay.
Okay.
Tonking during mastermind while your blind granny is in the corner, or humiliating you in front of the whole country by paying £2,000 to a prosy and then being caught out lying.
I'd say the latter was worse.
Okay, I'll give you a scenario. Your wife says, "Good morning, darling, would you like some tea and toast?" Are you going to leave her?
Well, you know, a bit more woods, a bit more...
Okay, so that's your first scenario.
Yeah.
Your second,
Yeah.
she comes downstairs and she says, "Where's the jiff? I've got a right chuff rash."
How'd you get that
You fucking give it me. Would you leave your partner if she constantly ignored you?
What an extraordinary question. I think that needs...
Sorry?
I said, what an extraordinary question. That needs a lot of... if she constantly ignored me, I'm not so sure if we were going to end up like that and being there in the first place. You're not listening to me.
Oh, no. So there you have it. It seems that relationships today can all too often end up like me, in the skip. This has been Daisy Donovan for the 11 o'clock show in London.
Show of the series, and it's time to catch up with this week's winners and losers in Good News, Bad News.
Good news.
1 in 3 men expect to get sex when they buy chocolates. Bad news.
For the counter staff at Thornton's who are exhausted.
Good news. Stevie Wonder's going to have a chip put in his eye so he can see again. Bad news.
When he sees the video for I Just Called to Say I Love You and realises he looks like a tit.
Good news.
The Chinese are to get their own flat cap factory. Bad news.
Whippet factory goes to Korea. Bad news.
A girl aged just 3 was caught dealing drugs. Good news.
She couldn't add up and someone got an 8 for 50p.
Good news.
Cleaner King James Dyson has invented a robot vacuum cleaner. Bad news.
Birds have now got nothing to do.
And that was this week's Good News, Bad News.
Daisy, how would you describe the relationship between Britain and America?
Funny you should ask. I've been thinking about this. It's just like the Crankies.
What, you mean they're a solid partnership who've worked side by side for years and they're still great together?
No, the big one keeps screwing the little one.
Did you mention Jeanette Cranky earlier?
Yeah, it's panto season. She's all over the place.
Oh, that's OK, fair enough. But another person with an expert grasp of international relations is Ali G. Here's the very best of his chats with the bigwigs stateside.
Yeah, you don't stop. It goes out to the crew up top. That's it.
So let's talk about spies now, because the CIA is also got to do with spies, isn't it? Is it true that you have certain female spies that you put a camera in their punani? What is supply and demand? Is it like with me Julie, I supply it and she demand it, aye? Is there any difference between the gangs and, let's say, the scouts?
The Boy Scouts?
Aye.
There's some fundamental differences.
Let's talk about Vietnam.
Right.
What did you do in Nam?
I was a battalion commander.
Aye. How old was you then?
I was in my early 40s.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the average age was 18. It is to do with colours here as well, is that right?
Well, colors is sort of the division between Bloods and Crips, and the color aspect has really been highlighted through the media.
What would have happened, let's say, if your nan had knitted you like a red sweater or something, and you was in the Blue Crips? What would you do?
Well, the person would never wear it in the first place.
But then his nan had like spent ages not wearing it.
They wouldn't care. They would probably throw it out, or they would tell her, do it my favorite color, which is blue.
Yeah, but then you will make the nun feel bad and whatever, and you're making your own grandma feel like rubbish.
Well, I don't think they're really concerned about making someone in their family feel bad about the color.
I've got an idea, and I want to run it by you, Professor Galbraith. What is everyone in the world got? Feet, right? And what do they want their feet to become? Comfy. How do they make their feet comfy? One word.
Shoes.
Slippers. So my idea is to make slippers.
Well, you will not be the only person with that idea.
What? Well, check this. I was going to use the intranet, and I was going to do it on wwf.slippers.com. What do you think about that?
I would point out that you will only become a millionaire making slippers, internet or not, if you make them cheaper than anybody else.
What happened if I use the intranet and I do it instead of that address on wwf.swedishfunny.com? Because then everyone will think that they is going over to see some nice girls or whatever. And what will they see? In the slippers. They'll buy them.
Okay, that's your risk, fortunately, and not mine.
Do you want to invest some money in it?
Certainly not.
Show and indeed the series, but never fear, we'll be back in the new year.
But if you can't wait that long, there's always our Christmas Spectacular on Wednesday the 22nd.
But before we go, following the discovery of a bug in Gerry Adams's car, further excerpts from the tape provide revealing insights into the working of the peace process.
Do you think Trumbull's serious about this? Never mind that, Gerry. Oh, stop it, Martin. Stop it now. No. No, Martin, get off. Get off, Martin. Stop. No.
Good night.
Good night.